1v1 on Semoskiy. This game is going to be Quentin versus Clock Labs. Quentin bringing elite troops, close air support, and mechanized assault. Clock Labs bringing airborne, armor, and rifle company. Clock Labs going with a double rifle opening, making his way straight for the center village as he sends his rear echelon troops to take control of the north. And Grenadiers making their way towards the center village as well. No early armor company pick from Clock Labs, so no assault engineers right off the bat.
God damn it! Someone get us out of here! Target secure! Capture complete!
You see two Semoskiys coming out. I'm not sure how you're going to guarantee that. Oh, I was about to say he doesn't have mechanized assault in his loadout, and then I was like, wait, yes he does. What am I talking about? Two Semoskiys, maybe. I feel like on this map they're not as good. Of course, it's still a really great unit, regardless of the map. But on this map, not as much. Plus, it can be difficult even to survive that long against US forces. Quentin tries to be aggressive here, taking control of the building right by Clock Labs' cutoff. Riflemen make their way into cover to try and force those pioneers out from range, and Grenadiers are moving up to take territory in the back. More Grenadiers, by the way, taking control, or no, not Grenadiers, MG42 being sent way here to the south. Interesting choice to use an MG42 as a backcapping squad in the early stages of the game, rather than using it to support engagements here in the middle. If he had rushed that to the center, who knows what he might have been able to accomplish. Although he's still doing a pretty decent job of keeping his opponent busy here, trying to force him out of this building with just a Pio squad and a Gren squad. Riflemen that moved around behind on the flank, however, are going to undo some of that Grenadier squad's hard work, taking control of the strategic point there. And they're now making a push for the cutoff, which is largely undefended, but more Grenadiers are on the way. And the MG42 continues to work its way through the south. Meanwhile, Pioneers are taking control of the strategic point here.
We're getting plastered over here.
And rear echelon troops are also working on the munitions point there in the north, while another rifle squad, or no, another rear echelon squad actually. He went rifle, 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 rear echelon troops. Interesting. Makes its way across the south to get that victory point under control. And he's slowly working his way through the center village. He's forced his opponent from this building with a grenade.
We have a
I think.
lieutenant reporting in for duty.
Oh no, never mind. He hasn't even researched grenades. I saw that the building was damaged. I thought he threw a grenade, but that's all that damage is just from small arms fire.
We're losing a capture point.
And he takes control of the central church while Grenadiers take cover in this building and by this well, trying to force the riflemen from the church. Meanwhile, here in the north, rear echelons should win against these Pios. Quentin will have to retreat that squad. There it goes. And the MG42 continues to work its way across the south. And he's just gonna keep on going, I guess.
Objective secured.
That's it. Point's ours. We're getting chewed up here. Utility card.
Rear echelon troops actually managed to get behind this MG42, but I'm not even sure if they'll win the engagement.
Don't let up. Keep shooting.
He's rotating and he has not reacted. And he will get gunned down. Wasn't quite paying attention. Not even sure they'll survive this if he doesn't react soon. There they go. Barely gets away.
42.
Rear echelon troops taking control of the cutoff there in the north, and a lieutenant has been fielded here into the church to try and keep these Grenadiers at bay. And M20 is on the field, however, and is making its way to the front lines. Armor's about to complete. It's a little late, almost 6 minutes before it engages, but it should still get the job done. Once its armor skirt's complete, it can get get into close range and start inflicting some real damage to those infantry, and grenadiers are making their way up towards the north victory point as well.
The enemy is overrunning
Rifle
one of
grenade
our
going
capture
into the
points.
church. Does nothing. Never understood why rifle grenades are so bad versus buildings.
Cover me!
The MG42 is just continuing to make its way across the south, although it's going to be quite vulnerable to this M20. Risks being gunned down on retreat, and if he hands that MG42 over to his opponent, that's going to be one more
Ambulance taking the field.
problem for him to deal with, as if he doesn't have enough already. Just being versus US forces on this map is already a nightmare, without giving them your machine guns. Incredibly late to retreat. Takes 2 full bursts before he hits retreat at all. Don't think it's going to make it home if Clock Labs chases. Which he's not. I don't know why. He definitely should have chased that. Now he's chasing, but it's a little bit late. I think he should still get it. There it goes. Wipes the MG42, needs to field some infantry to recover that before his opponent does. Looks like he should be able to get there first. He's got a rear echelon troop squad relatively nearby, and his opponent doesn't really have anything. But Quentin is now fielding himself
I meant to do with these recruits.
a 222.
Someone get us out of here!
Grab your shit and follow me. We're at full strength. Field promotion!
Utilizing it to lay some fire on the church here.
Capture point is under attack.
Grenadiers helping as well from range. Riflemen will be forced to retreat in the relatively near future. M6 anti-tank mine going down here on this
We're losing a capture
intersection. And he has also stolen this MG42, so he's in a very strong position against Quentin right now. But he does lose a full squad of riflemen to the 222 there in the center, and he doesn't have any vet riflemen available to try and damage this engine with a grenade.
Under fire!
Target secure.
Where's flank security? Bust down the metal, boys! Promotion just came through!
MG42 forces a retreat from that grenadier squad as they try and take this cutoff. And the lieutenant is making his way back towards the center. Riflemen moving to take control of the church once again, and the M20 is dealing decent damage here to these grenadiers. The church still has pretty decent health, so the rifle grenade again has very little impact on the riflemen inside,
They got us zeroed in here!
taking out only one member of the squad. Grenadiers are going to do a little damage to these rear echelon troops as they make their way towards the center as well. And the lieutenant looks like he's a little indecisive about what exactly he wants to do. Meanwhile, Quentin has fielded himself a half-track, trying to utilize this to reinforce in the field, but he's taking a lot of damage because this squad is already so wounded.
90-day wonders fall in.
And he's just bleeding manpower like crazy. No commander selection from him yet either.
We're on the hook over here!
Another M6 mine does not get planted in the center, cancels it to move back to engage a little bit. The 222 is being oddly timid against that M20. He really needs to try to apply a little more pressure to that thing.
One of our capture points.
That being said, it's a pretty fragile vehicle in its own right.
Now get ready.
But as long as it engages at range, like most Osterra units are meant to, should do okay. M6 mine is about to complete here in the
57mm
center.
AT gun now deployable by air. Air
There it
supply of
goes.
field ordnance is
Quentin
available.
has no minesweeper.
Air resupply is
Nor does he
now
really
available.
have very many munitions, and he's gone Tiger
On
Ace,
station and ready for action.
or elite troops, so no Stugis. But it's a long, hard road to 15 command points.
Capture point is being overrun.
It's not going to be easy to survive that long, especially with Clock Labs getting himself tanks in the very near future. He's fielded himself a major, and he'll have the fuel for a Sherman in about 1 minute.
57mm AT gun now deployable by air.
Promotion! Under fire!
The capture point is under attack.
Quentin has seen the Majors getting himself an AT gun now.
Green can be. Well, grab your shit and follow me.
He's also getting himself some G43s on his Grenadiers. Probably a good decision since his munitions are so...
Being wiped out.
Oh, it's gonna be close. His munitions are so tight, but he does finally have control of this munitions point after not having much map control for the entire game. Finally has managed to secure a little bit and utilizing this half track as a forward reinforced point. Seems to be doing quite well in the center as well, but he still has no solution for this M20. He's going to damage its engine with the Panzerfaust before retreating, I think. Although maybe he should have just retreated immediately. 222 is making its way down towards the south. The full squad gets wiped, but it does skirt past that M6 mine, just barely. They leave the vehicle, try and land a bazooka shot, and they are successful. Quentin now has to reverse to safety because he needs to try to round the corner. Oh! He will not hit the mine, but it doesn't even matter. The bazooka is sufficient to destroy his 222. Meanwhile, Lieutenant was able to push that Grenadier squad away, bringing Quentin down to only 3 squads, one of which is nearly dead. His half-track is packing some Pios, which is looking pretty weak compared to what his opponent still has on the field, and has not lost his M20, 2 M6 mines on the field. Quentin has no minesweeper. Even if the Tiger Ace does somehow make it to the battlefield, those mines are a serious concern. Just continues to throw those Grenadiers into that M20. So much manpower bleed.
We're back to full point secured. Man out. Contact! Infantry!
We're on the hook over here!
Grenadiers have to leave the church, taking too much damage, brought so low. He still doesn't have a medical station here in his base.
Tank support
His
is here.
munitions
Sherman ready.
can't really support one. But it seems like it would probably be a pretty good idea considering the health of his various squads, and he is throwing one up now. It's going to be all of his munitions to do so, though, and a Sherman has just hit the field. There's only 1 pack available to defend against it. Certainly no teller mines. And the Major is actually making its way across the map to try and take control of various territory points, while rear echelon troops are probably going to make their way across the south. The M20 has laid another M6 mine here.
That was too easy.
Oh wait, no, that's a teller mine. Oh, I stand corrected.
God damn it! Someone get us out of here!
I don't know when he managed to sink that teller mine. Oh no, main gun destroyed. That's just terrible. He really needed that not to happen. That 5% chance. That is tragic. Although the M20 hitting that is honestly not even that great. He probably was really hoping that the Sherman would hit that and that his pack would be well positioned to follow up. But basically, that is the worst possible outcome. And Clock Labs is going to have full control of the map soon. Only Pioneers being sent to do any counter harassment at all. Meanwhile, Quentin has purchased himself a support armor core, probably going to grab a Panzer IV once he has the fuel for it, and try and survive on that until he can get to a Tiger Ace, but he still has a long way to go.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green as green can be. Well, grab your shit and follow me.
Paratroopers have been fielded. Meanwhile, Pioneers were sufficient to force away the rear echelon troops there in the south. Quentin really needs to make a big push. Being triple capped for this long is not good. He's going to try and slow the clock here in the north. These 2 Grenadier squads should succeed. Sherman is not being mobilized to counter, and Major will retreat. Sherman making its way up to the north now. Riflemen take up a position in the church, which is still in pretty healthy condition, even though it doesn't really look like it. Still has over half of itself.
Enemy infantry!
Ooh, paratroopers wiped the PIO squad there in the south. Quentin really does not need any squad wipes, especially not as elite troops, especially not pioneer squads. You have no choice but to replace those in the late game. They're kind of expensive. Once his economy gets drained by the Tiger Ace, he's not going to be wanting to spend a bunch of manpower on PIOs. Panzer IV is here. Once the Panzer IV makes its way to the front line, the U.S. forces will have a slightly bigger challenge on their hands, but there is a lot of mines in the center. There's an AT gun already on the field, Jackson in production, Sherman available if necessary. So that Panzer IV can only do so much. Already takes a hit from the AT gun, which penetrates, does a little damage, and he has no PIOs. Every time it takes damage, it's permanent until he replaces that Pioneer squad, which he can do. But he hasn't yet, for whatever reason. He can't already be thinking of floating for the Tiger Ace. He's still 6 points away. Panzer IV trying to get the north under his control. Nope, changed his mind. Wants to go in on the Sherman, maybe? Or just generally circling around looking for targets. His fuel has been taken by these paratroopers. LMG is going to start bursting those Grenadiers down from range, but they are Vet 3, close the gap with their G43s, throwing a stun grenade, soft target, nice dodge. And they will in turn utilize suppressing fire on those Grenadiers, suppressing them, forcing a retreat, but they do take 3 model losses and will be unlikely to survive a second counter-harassment attempt by Quentin. Meanwhile, the AT gun has been fielded up here towards the cutoff to protect the Panzer IV while Grenadiers try to get this victory point under control. Once he holds the north VP, the clock will be slowed, help him bridge the gap to his Tiger Ace.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Panzer IV taking shots at that MG42, forces it to reposition, but it can only be so aggressive. If it hits this mine, it'll be disastrous. Not to mention the AT gun is getting nice hits off, and he still has no Pioneers.
We're losing a capture point. On the flank! We're at full strength. Let them know we got it. Spread the men out. Krauts are taking one of our points.
Grenadiers take control of the fuel, and these Grenadiers here in the north are taking control of the munitions, trying to get Quentin's resources going again. And he's fielding more Grenadiers, and he's also fielded himself a fresh squad of PIOs.
No recruits in. We're ready.
And as long as he holds one victory point, the Tiger Ace will arrive. He just needs to hold on to it for as long as he can. Meanwhile, the U.S. Forces player has done an excellent job preparing for it. He has planted mines all over the map. And his M20 is still alive. He can plant more. And should. He has the munitions for it, for sure. And he's doing so. Sherman and Jackson making their way across the north. If they can get those victory points ticking and apply some more pressure to Quentin, maybe he can end the game before the Tiger Ace even arrives, but he needs to keep the pressure up. Grenadiers in the south do take control of that fuel. Panzerfaust connects, the squad will retreat, 1 man remaining. Meanwhile, another push is going for the center. Grenadiers going into the building. Not sure if he saw those mines getting planted or not. Probably not. Cook grenade will get dodged nicely by the G43 Grens. They're taking significant losses, down to only 3 men remaining. And they'll retreat back to the Major's retreat point here by the ambulance.
Hey, I need a mag!
They got us 0! Enemy infantry! Fire at will!
And the riflemen are going to take control of this victory point, and the pressure will be on Quentin once again to try and slow the clock. LMGs and masked riflemen and stolen MG-42 are dealing a lot of manpower bleed to the infantry formations here, even in green cover, and that half-track has to pull back because of the AT gun here. Sherman still available here in the north. Jackson well positioned for that Panzer IV's charge and blasts it with a huge hit. That church is probably going to go down soon. And Clock Labs is just defending these victory points. That's all he cares about, is holding the VPs. If he just holds them a little longer, that Tiger Ace will not hit the field. Sherman moves in to assist in this engagement, takes a hit from the Panzer IV, and a pack is trying to move up as well. Ooh, full squad of Grenadiers goes down. That one's pretty close to going down as well. The AT gun forces the half-track to reposition again, but it gets decrewed. Meanwhile, the pack is moving to try and force the Sherman to reposition. Paratroopers moving up for the church. Or maybe just circling around so that they can get a line on that pack without the Panzer IV retaliating. I'm not sure. Quentin, either way, is being forced to backpedal over and over again, but we do have a nice harassment attempt here in the south by this Grenadier squad to continue to slow the clock. The lieutenant is on his way to counter, as well as the M20, but he will slow things. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for the Tiger Ace, but he will slow things significantly. The squad makes a retreat immediately thereafter. Another Sherman is in production. Oh! Panzer IV hits an M6 mine, and the Jackson causes it to be abandoned with its next shot, and it doesn't have a whole lot nearby to destroy it. That's not true. The pack could destroy it, and it should. It has to prevent the American from recovering it. Rear echelon troops already on their way. Where's that pack going? He needs to blow that thing up. Oh, and that's the end of the game, I guess. Quentin will surrender. He was kind of close to the Tiger Ace, though, only 2 points away. 600 manpower in the bank. I guess he didn't think that he was going to be able to hold. I guess he didn't think he could afford the loss of his Panzer IV, but to be honest, it hadn't done that much. I don't know. It was going to be tough, even with the Tiger Ace. He had a bunch of P-47s in the bank, M6 mines everywhere. But, either way, solid game by both players, for sure. Playing as Oster versus US forces on this map is not easy by any means. So even surviving this long is an accomplishment. GG. Allies win.